Chapter 1. Echoes of the Forgotten. The wind carries whispers across the ruins of Axum, where the stones themselves remember. They speak in tongues of the past-off queens who ruled not just with scepters, but with the weight of celestial bloodlines. This is the story of those who were erased, yet whose echoes still tremble in the foundations of history. The kingdom of Axum was never just a kingdom of kings. Beneath the shadow of its towering stelae and the glow of its golden legends, women wielded power that defied the boundaries of their time. They were not mere consorts or silent figures in the margins of history. They were rulers, strategists, and keepers of divine lineage. Their names, once chanted in temples and inscribed in royal decrees, now flicker like dying embers in the archives of the forgotten. Consider the reign of Queen Judith, a name that still stirs controversy among scholars. Some call her a usurper, a firebrand who shattered the old order. Others see her as a visionary, a queen who dared to challenge the very fabric of Axum at succession. What is certain is that her reign marked a turning point, a moment when the bloodlines of the throne were tested, when the celestial mandate of kingship was questioned. Was she a destroyer or a reformer? The answer lies buried in the ruins, waiting to be unearthed. And then there is Queen Malat, whose name is barely a footnote in most histories. Yet, according to the oral traditions of the Aga people, she was a queen who united warring factions, a ruler whose wisdom was said to be blessed by the stars themselves. Her story is told in fragments, whispers in the highlands, carvings on forgotten obelisks, the faintest traces of a reign that defied the patriarchal currents of her time. To understand her is to understand the hidden currents of Axumite power, the unseen hands that guided the kingdom through its most turbulent years. The archaeologists who work among the ruins speak of a different kind of evidención that lies not in the grand monuments but in the everyday artifacts. A seal bearing the name of a queen, a coin stamped with her likeness, a fragment of a decree that mentions her authority. These are the breadcrumbs that lead us back to a truth long buried. The queens of Axum were not anomalies. They were a thread woven deep into the tapestry of the kingdom's history. Yet why were they forgotten? Why does history remember the kings in gold and the queens in shadow? Part of the answer lies in the nature of power itself. The Axumite throne was not just a seat of earthly authority, it was a conduit for divine will. The kings were seen as intermediaries between the celestial realm and the mortal one. Their bloodlines trace back to the legendary Menelik, son of Solomon, and the queen of Sheba. But what of the queens? Their power was no less sacred, their bloodlines no less celestial. And yet their stories were systematically diminished, their achievements attributed to the men who ruled beside them. This is not just a tale of lost queens. It is a story of how history is written and how it can be written. The queens of Axum were not passive figures. They were architects of their own legacies. They ruled, they fought, they shaped the destiny of a kingdom. And though their names have faded, their influence lingers in the very foundations of Axumite civilization. As we move forward, we will uncover the layers of their reign, how they navigated the complexities of succession, how they wielded diplomacy and warfare, how they balanced the demands of tradition with the necessity of change. We will hear their voices, not as echoes, but as clarion calls across the centuries. For now, let us linger in the ruins, where the wind still carries their names. The story of the forgotten queens of Axum is not over. It is only waiting to be remembered.